This is DZR in JWP, a series of videos on the use of JWP, or the Japanese word processor, as it relates to the Danzan-Ryu Jiu-Jitsu terminology. I'm your host, Professor George Arrington. Today's topic, we're going to be looking at the terms Danzan-Ryu and Kodenkan right here, as you can see on the screen, and what they mean and what they look like. Okay, so first off, before we get started, if you don't already have JWP CE, here it is right here, JWP CE, it can be obtained for free. It is a freeware from the UCLA Physics Department, and all you have to do is go onto the internet and search for JWP CE, and you'll find it, and it gives you all of the instructions on how to install it. So I highly recommend it. It's been very useful for me in my website Danzan.com, and also in writing my books on Danzan-Ryu Jiu-Jitsu. So anyway, let's take a look at these topics. Danzan-Ryu and Kodenkan. Okay, I'm going to make some assumptions that you already know something about how to enter information into JWP, but I'll try to go slow if you don't know that already, and hopefully you can catch on. All right. So the word processor has several different modes. It has an ASCII mode, which I use to type in these English words here, these English letters, and there's also a kanji mode where I can actually type in either hiragana or katakana. So let's go ahead and type in the word Danzan. That would be D-A-N and Z-A-N. And that trailing N there, I have to hit the space bar to show that. Okay, so we have Dan and Zan. This is actually two words. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight Dan and go up here to the kanji convert button, which is that button right there. I could also hit F2 if I wanted to. And actually, there's another way to get the kanji, and I'll show you that a little bit later. And I'll go ahead and hit the kanji convert button, and you see several different possibilities for kanji come up. That dan that first came up, that's the dan as in like black belt ranking, shodan or nidan or whatever, yudansha. But the dan that we're looking for is this one, the one for sandalwood. And we can confirm that by going up to the character info key, clicking on that, and a pop-up box shows that indeed that is the dan, which means cedar or sandalwood. Okay? So, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can get from this character information. We won't look at that right now. So let me close that, and then I'm going to now select Zan, Z-A-N, Zan, and hit the kanji convert button, and we come up with that, which you may recognize as mountain. Okay, so that is Danzan. And just as an interesting point here, JWP has a dictionary that has a whole lot of contextual sorts of things, and when I click that for Danzan, it doesn't show any, so there were no matches for Danzan. So this particular entry is not located in JWP's dictionary. Okay, next we have the word view. Now I'm going to intentionally make a mistake here and type in RYU, like so. Select it, convert it, and although you probably couldn't hear it, I could hear it in my headphones that it went beep and showed that there were no kanji that are RYU. Okay, so what do we do there? Well, in this case, this Ryu is an elongated U sound, or so the way we write that is Ryu with a U afterwards. So Ryu, like so, and I'll select that, hit the kanji button, kanji convert button, and we get the kanji for Ryu. There are also some other kanji in here, like this one and this one. Both those on either side of Ryu mean dragon. This is the older form. This is the more modern form of dragon. Also, they use this one in some other form, other words. But anyway, the word we're looking for is this view. And when we click on the character information button, we get this. And notice that the meaning here means a current or a flow. And in fact, the water radical, those three dots, indicate that this is a flow, a stream, if you prefer. And we think of this as a stream of thought, or a sect, or a cult even sometimes is used for that. So Danzan-Ryu we think of as the Hawaiian sect or the Hawaiian style, and that's what Danzan-Ryu means. Okay. Now, Jiu-Jitsu. Let's talk about Jiu-Jitsu. Sometimes people will write it as J-U-J-I-T-S-U, or sometimes it will be written as J-I-U, or in old form, in old books, sometimes you would see J-Y-U, Jitsu. But the proper spelling of it, people ask, well, gee, what's the right spelling? Well, the right spelling is what we have in the Japanese language, and that is Ju, like so. Now, just real quickly, this character, but without those two tick marks, is she. She. And like S-H-I, she. And then the two tick marks voice that particular syllable and make it from she to G. So that's what that means. Now this little character here connected to she is the character U. I'm sorry, I said she, I should say G. So connected to G is the sound U. So you have G, U, G, U, G, U, G, U, Ju. So that is, those two together make Ju. All right? And for the character that we're looking for, you have to have an elongated U sound. So it should be Ju, Ju. So Ju, U, G, U, U, Ju. Okay? So let me select that, convert it, and we get that symbol. Well, that's not the symbol we're looking for. That's the Ju that means 10. Okay? So if you're talking about Jujigatami or something like that, then that's the character that's used. But the Ju that we're looking for is this Ju, and that is the Ju for Jiu-Jitsu. And let's just confirm that. We'll go up here to the character info, and we'll see. It says tender, weakness, gentleness, softness, that sort of thing, and the way we pronounce it. And now here, this in the onyomi, or the Chinese derived pronunciation of the word Ju, or New, but in our case G-U. That's she with the two tick marks. Shi-yu, that's you in katakana. Ju, that's the pronunciation. You may also be interested that in Japanese you have both the Chinese and the Japanese derived pronunciations of terms, the on yumi and the kun yomi. And here you read that the Japanese derivation is yawaraka, or yawarakai. So our term yawara, or yawara, in fact there it is right there, yawara is the name for jiu-jitsu, the old name for jiu-jitsu. So sometimes when you see that, it's pronounced yawara. but when it was written out by Professor Okazaki on the scroll, he wrote it out Yawara because that's how he wanted it for his first list of techniques. Okay. Now, the next term, jutsu, is spelled J-U-T-S-U. So I'm gonna go ahead and type it J-U-T-S-U. Now let me back up and erase that, and I'll tell you why I'm doing that. I'm doing this with the direct mode, where I hold the Shift key, hit the J, release the Shift key, and now type in U-T-S-U. Jutsu. Jutsu. Not a long U, but jutsu. Jutsu. And when I hit the space bar, I get our symbol for jutsu. Okay? And that means art or technique or skill or means or trick, resources, or even magic, like a magic trick. They call it jutsu. Okay. If we had typed jitsu, where it's J-I-T-S-U, jitsu, that doesn't mean the same thing. Let's hit spacebar, and we would get that symbol, and that means reality or truth. Well, is that the same thing? In our case, no, it's not. Okay? So there's Danzan-Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, so the Hawaiian style of Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? And so I'm gonna move down one, and now we're gonna look at Kodenkan Dojo. So Professor Okazaki's school was named Kodenkan, and sometimes we call them the same thing. We say, I study Kodenkan Jiu-Jitsu. And, you know, that's not a mistake, but it's to be absolutely pedantic about it. Danzan-Ryu is the name of the style, and Kodenkan was the name of the physical school building. And we'll see why in just a moment here. Okay, so Ko. All right. So which one of these Ko's is the one that Professor Okazaki used? Well, this one means child, and this one means small, and this one right here is the one that he used, which means old. Okay? And I can go up here and select the character information button, and we see that it means old, or Ko. Not an elongated O, but Ko. And it can also be called furui, which means old. So if you say an old car, you say furui kuruma, and that means an old car. But in this case, we use ko, like koryu, which means old style. Okay. Okay, den. Now, if I type in den, I'm going to do this two different ways. Okay, two different ways. Den, we get this symbol, which means if I hit Control I, I'm gonna I can hit this button, or I can hit Control I to get the information there. So I'm going to do this quickly. Hit Control I. You'll see that it means transmit or the tradition, and that is indeed the term or the kanji which is used for den, as in Kodenkan. But that's not what is traditionally seen in our writing. This is the newer form of den, and so in JWP, if we want to get the older kanji, we actually have to make use of the radical lookup button, which I just happen to know that it's made up of this part and this part. And if we look through here, you'll see that there it is right there. Okay? And I'm going to insert that into the file. And so these two characters mean the same thing. This is the newer version of den, the simplified kanji, and this is the older form. And we can confirm that with the character info button. And you see that it means to propagate or transmit. Okay? So that's the older form, and now they even call this uncommon. Uncommon. All right? So, but we'll stick with the traditional forms. Okay? And then kan. All right. Now that's the kan as in kanji. It's actually the symbol for the Han dynasty of China, but that's not the kan that we're looking for. The kan that we're looking for is similar to this one, which means a magistrate, I believe. Let me just double check that. Bureaucrat, right? That means bureaucrat or government. Okay. But that's not the one that we're looking for. The one we're looking for is this one right here. Okay, right there. All right. And so there is our traditional Kodenkan that we see. And this one, let's just select that and go up and get our information about that. And it says building, mansion, large building, palace. Yeah, that's the one that we're looking for. Okay, so Kodenkan. Now, just as an aside here, kan this kan, in some instances, if you look at some of the old newspaper writings about Professor Okazaki and his school, you'll see this character right here, which looks almost the same as this character here. In fact, on the seal of the Kodenkan, if you look carefully, it uses this symbol. Okay? Now, why does he do that, and what does it mean? Well, it turns out that character really means the same thing. Okay? It really means the same thing. So in some places you'll see it written this way, and in some places you'll see that he wrote it this way. I think traditionally now we're pretty much have accepted that this is the usage, although this is not incorrect. So there's a little bit of stuff for you there. Okay. All right. Now the term dojo. These are actually long. These O's here should be long O's. So we'll go do or do, and we get the character here, which means road, street, way, course, moral teachings. Okay, do, like in judo, and then jo. This one, that's not the term that we're looking for. Let's see, where is it? Where is Jo? Jo, there it is, right next to it. Okay, so this character means a location or a place. So a place to study the way, a place to learn the lessons. Okay, so dojo is a physical place, just like kan is a physical place. Okay, so there's a quick look at some of the terms that we use in Danzan-Ryu, and I hope that was informational, and we'll see you next time.